Welcome, people of the internet. This thing here is my iPhone 13, I think. Anyway, by the way, crack the glass here on the ultra wide. Got it like this. It's not an issue. Anyway, iOS 26 beta 3, guys. Now, how do we know? All right, it's 23A5287, whatever this thing means. That's the build number, and it ends at G. So, a couple of new things here, guys. We're going to be starting with the first one. This is the lock screen. Apparently, there are some new wallpapers. Now, how do we know and how does this work, guys? So let's say if you want to change the wallpapers, you just need to hold like this. When you go inside customize, guys, you just swipe right. This was the first original iOS 26 beta wallpaper. Now they have something like that, shadow, anyway. And now, guys, even this, and I think that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 options. And by the way, guys, every time you just change the wallpaper, the clock is going to move around and it's going to follow the color palette, which I think is kind of neat. But guys, there is one main big thing about the iOS 26 beta 3, and this is, Apple are probably trying to kill the liquid glass because it seems that they're really trying to tone it down. They're really so happy when they came across this. And honestly, there are really some nice, cool things. You can see, right, all these effects here, like you have the glass over the elements, dispersion of light effects, right? They're still there. But it seems that some of the people, if not most of the people, were not happy with the readability, so they had to go inside the accessibility menu and reduce the transparency. And I think Apple listened, and now they're trying to tone this down. So the liquid glass right now is more something like a frosted glass, and this is very noticeable also here inside the notification, because right now everything is very, very readable. But what I don't really like is the fact that it's kind of shifting away from the original concept of the liquid glass. And again, I've watched so many videos with Craig Federighi and this other guy, and specifically Craig Federighi was so happy that Apple Silicon is now so powerful and that they had these ideas since years, but the GPUs and the CPUs and in general the silicon chips were not that powerful, and now finally they can bring true to life liquid glass effect. And now, guys, we have something like just some glass effects. So there is no sense, no sign of liquid and this thing. It's more like a frosted glass, and sadly this is also available in other areas as well. So right now I'm going to open Safari, right? And in general, there are really some things that I'm really like in iOS beta. The fact that they put just some things down below, and that's so easy for most of the people to navigate, and it kind of really makes sense. But what they really changed right now in this new beta is the fact that you can see now this thing here was really made out of liquid glass in the past beta 2 and beta 1. Right now it's almost like a white bar, so it's really not a liquid glass anymore. And this thing can be also seen in other areas. So for example, right now I'm entering Apple Music. So you see, by the way, in some areas here they still retain the glass effect, which I am not a big advocate of this, because I know that it can somehow impact the readability. But if I have to take care about readability and I have to kind of judge, okay, do I want to have something very readable or something very cool? This is really very cool. But now see what happens when I go to the library. It's gonna get dull, and it's not liquid glass anymore. And they try to introduce these changes also in other settings. So for example, this thing here is the gallery, right? And you can see, right, it still retains the old spirit of the liquid glass, but in the same time, guys, it's also a bit more dull. So I'm not even sure if we can now say goodbye to the liquid glass the way we know it, or it's going to be something that Apple are going to try to change, because they still have 2 or 3 full months before we see the first stable iOS 26 build. So right now, again, everything here, guys, is just some beta builds. Right, some other things. Apparently, there are a lot of bug fixes. So right now, when you put your media player and you got your media player here, the moment you go here and you touch your phone, there were some bugs that the media player will not stay on the lock screen, or will just be bugged. Now, this is not the case. We can see that the media player stays right now. And again, here you can also see this here, guys. Now, when I'm here in my lock screen and I try to just go and check my notifications, there is almost like no sign of this beautiful liquid glass effect. It's just frosted glass. So I'm starting to think that it probably wasn't a good idea to just kind of code name it a liquid glass, probably just like Apple's glass, because then it would kind of leave a lot of options for the Apple developers to fine tune the readability. And right now, I mean, we don't have this liquid glass. It's all just like some glass. But it's really good because people now can finally see the notifications. And honestly, iOS is a very good operating system if you are all about like this nitty gritty design and the nice animation and all of that. I think it's going to really, really impress you. They have everything, and there are so many nice, cool elements. Like, for example, if I go here and I start recording, and you can see this thing pops up and I can stop it. And we have all these bouncy animations going on and off. And I really love it because it's really a lot of attention to detail. Even here, the airplane, you can see what happens here. You go to the airplane mode, the airplane will take off, whatever. So it's a cool operating system. For me, the best effect still is this. I really hope that they will not kill this thing here because this is really absolutely batshit crazy and I really love it. But Apple being Apple, yeah, nobody can guarantee that they're not gonna change a lot of these things because they kind of did that in the past as well. Let me walk you around. Now I'm on my main home screen and I'm gonna go and choose my notifications. When I do like this, guys, you can see the clock will beautifully expand down below. It's going to like very beautifully and very quickly, by the way, apply the depth effect. You can see this is really good. And I'm just thinking, yeah, maybe not the best customizable OS out there, but the things that I have in stock really are so great. And I mean, we have a testimony of this because other vendors like Xiaomi and everybody else actually around the globe copied things from Apple, like a lot of the design influence, or even like that button that I don't have here, because again, that's my working iPhone 13. Besides this, apparently they try to introduce some new things. Now, when you go inside Safari and when you click here and when you go to the bookmarks, they kind of rearrange the whole section. I think they changed the padding here, even introduced some new icons. So there are very small tweaks here and there, some tweaks inside the settings as well that will hopefully be manifested into the other releases. But I just think that we're gonna get probably like 2-3 more versions until we end up with the final one. They changed some things even in Apple Maps, and believe it or not, like Apple Maps now has more liquid glass than it used to have in the Beta 2 and Beta 1. So it's a bit weird what they're trying to achieve with that interface. I think the most noticeable things really are inside the Safari. And yeah, sadly now we have this bar, and I really hate it. Like, I just want to go back to the liquid glass because one of my biggest impressions and key takeaways from Beta 1 and Beta 2 was the fact that, like, when you enter and start browsing, it's kind of like fully immersive, right? And right now we have this bar, and I don't really like it because this takes away space from your screen. But at the end of the day, guys, this is it. This is iOS 26 Beta 3. They did a lot of bug fixings. Some people said that when they move an icon from the dock will stay on the right. Now everything properly aligns on the left. You can go and put everything back there. And it is for sure right now that they're trying to tone down this whole liquid glass thing. Also, when you open the weather, like, this thing here is gonna be dark, and I'm not in the dark mode. And it's a bit weird, but you see, like, it will react when you touch it, guys. It will come up with these flashy highlighting colors. And I just think that elements like this are cool. But in case you don't know, guys, and you're here for the first time, you might as well want to check my videos on Samsung and many other Chinese phones that I used to own and have and still have. One of the major controversy is this thing here, like the clear icons. But we have to praise Apple because when you apply this, it's going to apply on a system-wide level, which means that every goddamn icon is going to be a clear icon, every widget, right? Which is still an issue with Android, even with the latest Pixel that I'm using right now in Android 16 QPR Beta 2 and a point whatever. So Apple being Apple, yeah, really they are really in control of the OS, and I just hope that they are gonna make it better. They still have a lot of time to work until this happens. Now, see, if I go to tinted, this is how it goes. Like, you can just tint everything here. So those were things that were like not so feasible in the recent future. But now Apple decided to, hey, finally play, with the big boys. And I really have a good feeling on iOS 26. So you can see here, guys, again, this is not really liquid glass. It's more like a frosted glass. And the same is replicated here on the control center. The same is replicated here also on the notifications. but it is what it is, guys. All right, so I do believe still that this is a good update. By the way, I've been using this the whole day, so the battery is really holding strong. The phone is not so hot, so I cannot really speak about performance, guys, since this is an iPhone 13 and I only use it to check some things on Apple. But hey, guys, let me know what you think down below, and let me know if you like this new approach where Apple apparently are killing the liquid glass and replacing it with frosted glass, or you just want to throw the phone and go back to the original liquid glass. Stay safe.